All right, Shalom. I'm going to start out by giving our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and where I learn this truth. Peace and salutation to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's elect. Okay. I'm finna give a quick testimony on this dream I just had. So just bear with me if I'm stumbling over a couple words. I literally just woke up from it maybe 15 minutes ago. And I'm just like, I got to put this out right now because I don't want to forget anything. Okay, in this dream, Apostle Rakai was in the dream with me. And I've never met Apostle Rakai, you know what I'm saying? I don't even live on the East Coast. I live down south, you know what I'm saying? I've never met that man ever in my life. But of course, I listen and I follow behind him and of course, the other apostles of Great Millstone. You know what I'm saying? Those are my spiritual fathers, and I love them, man, as well as the brotherhood that taught me everything that I know. All right, so in this dream, it was crazy that he was there, and it's like we knew each other in the spirit. Like we didn't even have to necessarily even greet each other to know each other. All right, but anyway, so in this dream we were like on a big grassy green plot of land, something similar to like a golf course, and it was a creek running on the edges of the land. The land was a little bit elevated up. I say the land was elevated maybe 5 to 6 feet above where the creek was, but the creek was flowing all around the plot of land and whatnot. Okay. I can't exactly remember what event was taking place, but it was an event taking place because there was a lot of different people just scattered about on that big green grassy plot of land. You know, it was just a bunch of people. It was a bunch of just people, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of E's there, you know what I'm saying? All right, so as I was looking off in the distance, I seen these two E women. They were older. They could have probably been in there probably mid-40s, early 50s. They weren't just elderly, but they were a little bit older. All right, and they were standing next to each other, and they just had this real contrite, woe is me spirit on their faces, you know what I'm saying? And they were standing over there off to the edge looking down at that creek like they were mourning something. All right. And the energy that was coming from them was like drawing other people over to them. You know what I'm saying? Because E, when he cries out and he's in a pitiful like state, the majority of the people in the world, they feel bad for E and they want to go over to him and console him. And there was some Negroes in the video. I mean, not video. Some Negroes in the dream. Some female Negroes. And you know what I'm saying? They went over there and they do what they do, consoling the E's. And then you had some Islander looking chicks. It was one Islander looking chick like them Hawaiian people and whatnot. I work with a Hawaiian chick, and this person wasn't her, but it looked exactly like her to a T. You know what I'm saying? To a T. It could have been maybe one of her cousins or something. You know what I'm saying? You never know. All right. So anyway, I got pissed off in the dream because, like I say, I can't remember exactly what everyone was there for, but it was being taken away by these E's and the spirit that they were pushing out while they were standing over there looking at that creek and whatnot. Okay. So as people just started going over there to where these E's were, and it was more E's around as well, and they all came together and somehow they were all amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? And the spirit just went down, and the spirit on the people in the other nations that were there, like maybe it was a park, they were there doing their thing. Their spirit just started feeling bad for E, and they all just went over there to E, and it just all became about E. And come to find out, in that creek, in my dream, it's like something told me what had happened. It came to mind. In that particular creek, 6 E's were killed, and they drowned in that creek. And I don't know if these other 2 Edomite women were family members of those E's, but you know what I'm saying? The spirit that they were in the vibration that was coming off of them, that woe is me vibe, just had everybody fucked up, feeling bad for them, except me. It's like I instantly went over there and I just seen the consolement that these people were giving these E's, and I just instantly got fucking infuriated. You know what I'm saying? I got mad, and I just started going off on them. I was like, man, this is my exact words. I'm like, this is why I can't stand you goddamn niggas. This is a dream, Esau, so don't try to flag the video. This is a dream that I had. All right. So I just got mad, and I was like, this is what's wrong with you goddamn niggas, man. This is what's wrong with y'all. Here it is. When their family members die a tragic death, you want to feel bad for them because their people died in this creek and whatnot. But when my people die and when your people die, you know what I'm saying, they don't feel bad for you. Do you know how many people of our nation that these fucking E's, her ancestors and her descendants of her family had destroyed and buried and drowned and just killed? That's buried under this land, and you fucking sitting over here crying about these fucking two E's, feeling bad for these two fucking Edomite B's. You know what I'm saying? You over here feeling bad for these motherfuckers, and they don't even care about your people. And it's like the whole crowd stopped what they were doing, and they looked at me, and they were all uneasy. It was like an uneasy vibe came about. And this is when I seen Apostle Rakai. He was standing right there too. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even saying nothing. He was just looking and observing. He was just standing there. Like, I mean, yeah. And then he kind of said a little bit. He was like, well, yeah. I mean, the brother does have a point. You know what I'm saying? But he had a smirk on his face. You know what I'm saying? That's probably pretty much all I can remember from Apostle Rakai, but he was standing right there. All right. And then right next to him, my brother, which he's not a part of this truth. You know what I'm saying? At all. He doesn't subscribe to this at all. But he was in a dream as well, and he was standing right next to Apostle Rakai, and there was a whole bunch of other people around and whatnot. All right, so those two E's, the women, they were sitting down, and that Islander chick that I was talking about earlier, she was sitting next to him, and there was a couple more people sitting next to her. All right, so after I said what I said, and I began to walk, just basically walking in a circle, something just told me, like, man, I'm about to put a curse on these goddamn people. And mind you, I don't speak fluent Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? I know a couple words here and there, but I don't know it the way a lot of the bros know it, you know. But in this dream, when I went to put a curse on her, it's like the Hebrew came out of me like in a perfect fashion. Like I can't even explain it. I just walked over to the two E's. I walked right behind them. They were like sitting on a log, and it was people like gathered all around. It was more people than I could count. All right, so I'm standing behind them, and I just immediately started praying. I said, you know what? I'm gonna show you motherfuckers something. And I just looked up to the heavens and I said, Shalak Rayim, May Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And I just remember saying Mashapat, Zaquan. I just started saying these words and they all came, but I said them all in an order and in a way that I've never said in my actual reality of life that I'm in right now. I've never said them in that order. It's like they came to me it wasn't my words. It's like, yeah, I was trying to put the words on me. And after I said the very, very last word, those four women that was sitting on that log, the two E's that this is all about, the heathen woman and it was another woman, I can't remember what nationality she was, but I said, you know what, after I said that very last word of that curse, I touched the islander's woman's head. I said, and that's for you. And I touched her head. And immediately when I touched her head, that goddamn demon turned like fucking ice cold dead. You know what I'm saying? Like the life went from her body in a matter of seconds. It maybe took 2 or 3 seconds. And she looked up. When I touched her head, she looked up. We made eye contact. And she dropped flat backwards on her back. And her life just flew out of her body. You know what I'm saying? She turned ice cold dead, like when you go to a morgue and you see a body, you know what I'm saying, that somebody's identifying that's been on ice, that bluish purple looking color. She turned that color in a matter of seconds. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the cloud, like the sun turned, like it went from being somewhat sunny to just being blue, like it was finna rain and storm. You know what I'm saying? And right after she fell flat on her back, all of the people were just mystified, like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? And I immediately turned, and Apostle Rakai was standing there, and he was smiling. He had a grin on his face. He was smiling. And my brother was right there. And I like walked past him, and I like tapped him on the chest like 2 taps. You know, like when you playing a basketball game and you hit a big shot in somebody's face and you tap him on the chest, you be like, how you like that there, boy? I basically turned and looked at my brother and walked past him, but I tapped him on his chest twice. I said, I tapped him on his chest, like, doom, doom. And then I asked him, I said, you still don't believe, boy? Then I walked on past him. You know what I'm saying? And the look that was on his face, he was just in utter shock and dismay. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how to feel about that part because, you know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that our people going to be willing in the day of our power. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people gonna come in at that last second, you know. So for me to do that, you know, I don't know if it was to condemn him because, like I said, he doesn't get down with this. He's of the ways of the world. I ain't gonna even give you into a description about him because it's not what this is about. But that spiritual power that the Acumen have been harping on and been talking about, and that the elders and apostles have been telling us is going to come to us. It's right here at the door, brothers. And when we get it, you know what I'm saying, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give it to us in such a spectacular fashion that we're not even going to be able to fathom how it happened, you know what I'm saying? At least I couldn't, according to that dream, and that's not the first dream I felt of spiritual powers, you know what I'm saying? It's actually the second or the third, you know? So we at the end of this thing, Acumen. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is with us. And this was just a faith booster for me, which I've been going through a couple things in this flesh here lately. You know what I'm saying? I've been battling it as best as I can. Staying prayed up, doing the work, of course. And you know what I'm saying? I think Yahweh Hashem Yahushua showed me that just to let me know that he with me, you know, no matter what. Just keep pushing, keep fighting. And in that day, I'm going to fight for you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that spiritual power, it's on the way. I just put a curse on that damn devil, touched her head, and she literally dropped dead. Literally. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm going to close out and give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach where I learn this truth. Kwam Yasharala and Wide Bible Ball. Lord willing, it was edifying. Shalom.